I did not expect turning 50 to change so drastically the way that I view life, but it did. There were some realizations that hit me pretty hard turning 50, talking about time, the career, and what's important. And today we're going to talk about 5 hard truths that men over 40 need to realize when they do hit their 40s and beyond. So let's chat it up. Truth number one, and for me, this is probably the biggest one, is that time just feels different. As soon as I turned 50, I tell a lot of people that this was one that really hit different mentally and emotionally. I'm thinking, this is crazy. I have retired from a 25-year career in law enforcement. I have 2 adult sons, and I've been married for going on 28 years. So as I was reflecting on it, I thought to myself, that went by really fast. And I remember as we're growing up, everybody tells you that as you get older, time goes by faster. And I brushed it off and I thought, okay, we never really paid much attention, but man, were they absolutely true. And when you're thinking about it, it's one of those things where, remember when you were a kid and your mom told you, hey, 1 hour until dinner time? Man, 1 hour was 2 weeks. Time stood still. An hour was forever, or 20 minutes felt like 2 or 3 hours. And it just was something that you're young, you're taking in all this information, you're not a care in the world. Then you get into your 20s and 30s, right? You're establishing the career, you're raising a family, you're going after all these achievements in life, and it blows by and you're not even conscious of time. But when you hit your 40s and beyond, you start thinking, right? Like, man, time's going by fast. You're reflecting a lot more. You're looking at memories that have gone by, and it brings up this nostalgic feeling. And you have to understand, the hard truth is that time continues to go by, whether you're aware of it or not. Truth number two is that work stops defining you. And what I mean by that is that by your 40s and beyond, you're probably starting to hit maybe the end of your career. You've established and achieved everything in that career that you sought out to, the promotions, the special assignments, all of those things. And it just becomes a little less meaningful. So if you're starting to feel that burnout, you're starting to hit that spot where you are telling yourself, like, I can't wait I can't wait till I retire. I can't wait until I get out of here. And your mind is starting to go into those places. It's probably because the career isn't as meaningful to you anymore. And you're starting to see a shift in it. And that's a hard truth that we have to come to realize, because we want the second half of our life to be better than the first. And I'm not saying more meaningful or more full of purpose, but most men are not ready for that transition. So the second hard truth is that work stops really defining who you are. My identity as a police officer defined everything that I did in my 20s and 30s. As I hit my early 40s and began to kind of like slide out of control and have a lot of struggles within the career, I didn't stop and realize that it wasn't it was the job that was defining me. And I had nothing else to kind of turn towards or shift. Yeah, I was married. Yeah, I had a couple kids and we were raising the family, but that really wasn't what I wanted to define me. I didn't want to just be defined by husband and father. I wanted something really to grasp and to hold on to. But I started realizing that the career wasn't what I wanted to define me anymore. And that was a really hard pill to swallow. Truth number three, as you get older, your circle just becomes smaller. You stop trying to impress people. You stop trying to run around with this group and that group. And you start to notice sometimes it might feel a little bit lonely, but your circle becomes smaller, but more important to you. When I retired from the police department, I really struggled with this because I was friends and had relationships with so many different people in the department. And I would have older officers that had already retired tell me, hey, when you retire, just be ready to be a picture on the wall. You're not going to have the same friends that you had. They're going to move on and leave you behind. And it's just a reality of it. And that really bothered me, because I was saying to myself, like, no way, I'm tight with all these folks down here. I really love my family here at the police department, most of them. And that's just not going to be me. So I was in total denial. And then as soon as I retired, that was absolutely true. My friend group became smaller. I could not keep up with them all. They're on the train that keeps going, and you're no longer part of that. You're kind of left back at the station, and it's lonely. But then you start defining your small circle of friends, and value and cherish those friendships a little bit more. And I'm still cool with all of these people, but my circle has gotten much tighter and smaller and more valuable. And that's just something that you're going to have to realize as you get a little bit older. Truth number 4 is that your energy and your time do become more valuable to you. You don't have the physical and mental energy that you used to have, which is a good thing because you start learning how to set up boundaries. You start learning how to say no to things that aren't vitally important to you. And you start really taking stock of the time and energy that you do have to put into other things. I remember being that super high achiever in my career. I was the person that would never say no to getting called in, to overtime, to special assignments. And as I got older, spinning all of these plates was really wearing me out mentally and emotionally. And in my 20s and 30s, I still had the physical ability to take on all of those things. But I really started feeling that my mental and emotional capacity for all of these extra things started to wear out. And so I learned some really hard lessons in my 40s, specifically that I've only got so much mental and emotional energy to give away. And that becomes more valuable to you, which is a good thing. And truth number 5, I want you really to take home with this one is that reinventing yourself or reinvention is possible. And this is a lot of what I'm in right now because I did spend 25 years in a career. I then retired from that. And I want you to start thinking about the second half and reinventing yourself. You know, if you're stuck in a crisis or you're not sure what your purpose is anymore and you're over 40, start looking at this as halftime. Start making the halftime adjustments because when that hits, it can cause a major crisis and we don't know what to do. This is where I see a lot of times when you start losing your purpose, bad habits start coming into play. We don't know how to deal with it, so we might start drinking. We might start having an affair. We might start putting our time and energy into other things that don't fulfill us or are not important. So we have to be extremely careful. So truth number 5 is probably to me the biggest one because I'm in it right now. And this is where I want to take this channel, that reinvention, that second half, that finding your purpose and making the second half better than the first half of our lives. So if you're 40 or over, I'm very curious what realization or what truth hit you the hardest. Comment below and let me know. If you're navigating a lot of these hard life challenges in your 40s and beyond, I would invite you to subscribe to this channel because we're going to be hitting a lot of these topics and really going over how to make the second half the better half. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you at the next video.